This week on VGO, we talk about UFO 50, The Plucky Squire, Frostpunk 2.
Toxic positivity, and is Sony dead after that PlayStation event?
The state of play.
5, 4, 3, 2, live from Oslo, Norway, Michelle.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 873 of the Video Game Outsiders podcast. None of us are in Norway. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle Madison.
And I, of course, am your John Jacobson.
And I'm that guy, Matt Bradford.
What's
All right,
up?
we're here. This is a big one.
We got a big show.
Hey.
A lot of really big games. I don't know why I said it like that. We got a big show.
really big show.
Sony is
Sony
alive.
lives. Oh, no.
Sony lives.
We're going to talk about that Sony State of Play. I watched it. We'll see what you think about it,
We're
Matt,
going to unpack it, as the kids say.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't think the kids are saying that. They're saying, when they say unpack,
they
mean it involves the butt.
Yeah.
We're going to talk
We're
about...
all doing Galaxy Gas, too, tonight.
What?
You got that too? That's really good stuff.
Yeah, Sauce in the chat is saying TCG Shop Simulator review coming. I didn't actually get that game. I was thinking about it. So there's a card shop simulator game and they have stinky customers in it. And I told Kevin, I was like, they copied. They're listening and they copied because the PC Gamer wrote a whole article about it, how you have to fight off stinky customers. But so if you don't know, GameStore Guy has a whole show on our app where he talks about his stinky customers. But speaking of kind of our app and everything, John, if people support us, we are giving away the Big Sausage Energy, your new spice, but we save some to give away to everybody, anyone. So anyone listening, if you want to try John's new spice flavor, Big Sausage Energy, you can enter in our Discord. We're going to pick 2 winners next Sunday or something. John, tell people about it. Like, what is it?
It is a pizza topping and Italian seasoning, Michelle. It's basically my grandpa in a bottle.
Ew. You don't do that. Don't. Wait a minute. Nobody's going to want to enter now. There is Grandpa's Ashes as a drink, is like a gamer drink. It's called Grandpa's Ashes.
It's Italian. It's Italian sausage seasoning. Okay, it's got ground fennel seed, crushed red pepper, garlic, rosemary. I'm not rosemary. Basil, a little bit of oregano, and it's awesome. It's truly awesome as a pizza topping. Or you can mix like about 2 tablespoons with a pound of ground pork and make patties and fry them up. They're on point. Trust me.
This is delicious. This sounds delicious, John.
And the smell, oh my God. You smell this thing, you're
he's
Nirvana.
going to send you out a pack of all of his spices. The first time it failed, because so it's USA only, but we're making an exception here for Matt because you're going to get his garlic, his salt and pepper, his rub, whatever. So if you're curious about this, in our Discord, we got a link to John's Spices, and we're giving away 2 bottles of Big Sausage Energy. So enter, hit the pins in general.
Yeah, and if you go right now, if you go to pitbeast.com, you can order it, and then it's going to be on Amazon like any minute now. So
any minute, just wait. Just sit there with a refresh button.
I'm waiting for it to get in their
sausage.
warehouses. So it's on the way to Amazon. And
what's
you
Pit
better
Beast?
write
Is that
Big
your
Sausage.
What?
Yeah.
What? Where have you been?
But John, you have to write Big Sausage on the customs certificate to Matt.
Wait, you got pitbeast.com as a dope. That's pretty good.
That's a good URL.
Like,
it's a good name.
That's surprised that hasn't been taken.
Honestly, when I came up with the name, I was like, really? That domain's available?
That's insane that Pit Beast has not been taken by like a rib festival thing.
Yeah, pitbeast.com, and then all of it's on Amazon. Really order on Amazon. It's easier for everybody. It's
and
Amazon
John, we've been
Prime
talking about
that.
us doing like a VGO spice. We'll, as a gag, we'll do one day.
Michelle's witch hands.
That's right. Don't make fun of my long fingers. They're perfect for typing. All right. Well, we're going to get into a bunch of games. Like I said, it's a really, really big show and the Sony State of Play. So we are live right now on twitch.tv/John and Michelle. We do it every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. If you miss it, you can listen anywhere podcasts are, including our free app where we do weekly bonus shows, as well as the whole back catalog of VGO is up on there. So if you support us for only $1.99 a month, you get a lot of shows, John. How do they do that?
That's right. Go to our website at videogameoutsiders.com. When you get there, there is a red premium button. Go ahead and click it. Go to the next page, sign up and go premium. It's $1.99 a month. Once you are a member of the VGO club, you will unlock our entire back catalog of almost 20 years and also get all the bonus shows. That's right, that we do every single week. We do Micro VGO. I did a John show today. We do PC Outsiders, Netflix Outsiders, whatever. It's all there. We do a lot of stuff. It's all in the app. Go premium at videogameoutsiders.com. And then also grab our free app on iOS or Android. Just search for Video Game Outsiders. And then also, anytime during the week, you guys can send us voicemails, can be a question, comment, whatever. Just pick up your phone and dial 520-FEEL-VGO. Tiger?
Okay. What did we get today? We got Sony's State of Play, which absolutely suck ass.
Oh,
Come on. We got Concord 2 coming.
Sony's
Concord 2.
dead.
No, Concord 2 is going to save them. Come on.
Sony's dead. Sony's dead. Sony's dead. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, so they did announce Concord 2 today, right?
That's right. That's going to be great. Yeah.
The reboot.
Thank you for the sub, incredible game. Yeah, the reboot.
Concord is a completely new game, guys.
Well, they remastered Horizon for the 4th time, but no, in all seriousness, we'll get into it. There were some kind of bigger announcements. Some of them are coming, everywhere though. They're not exclusives. That's kind of the world we're living in now, but some of them are. So yeah, we'll get into that in the news. We also, what else is going on tonight? I think we have all the housekeeping done. We're entering into October next month. We have our big Halloween show coming up. Spooky season. We're going to be scary games. Suggest them because I'm already looking like what scary game am I going to play this year? The Lake House DLC for Alan Wake. Are you going to get that, Matt? Is that like on your Halloween radar? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because that looked kind of interesting.
Zelda.
Like, do I go back to it? Yeah, next
might be
week.
spooky.
Zelda Roundtable for Echoes of Wisdom.
This Friday. Zelda.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next show.
Spookily good.
Yep.
Are you getting that, Matt?
Later on. I've got a big flight in a couple months to Australia.
Okay.
I'm going to play that game for like the entire length of the flight. So that's my game I'm saving.
Yeah, Tom, I've noticed that Zelda game is already out. I'm not going to say I have it. I don't have it.
Is there a Silent Hill remake or reboot?
Yeah, that's also in October. Are you getting that one, Matt?
I would probably get that. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks interesting.
I think we may do like a fun roundtable because I talked to Savral, who's like took work off for it. I was like, you should come on and talk about it with us because I don't think John's getting that one. I want to cover Silent Hill the remake for sure because I mean, growing up, that was one of my favorite.
I don't think
games.
I ever played it. Is that what
Silent
the nurses?
Yeah, headless nurses.
Yeah, Pyramid Head.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to October this year. But anyway, okay, so let's get into what we played this week before we talk about Sony. So I played a bunch of games and I had a little bit of like a false start on a couple of them. I was kind of burned by early access with the Forever Winter. All right, so this was a game that was getting very hyped up. If you're like in the PC space, you've probably heard of it. If not, probably not, but it's a co-op shooter, survival horror. It had this like beautiful atmosphere. Like they nailed the graphics. They nailed the atmosphere. They nailed the music. Like there's so much cool stuff about it. It's a PvE looter extraction game where you're scavenging off dead and trying to a little bit of Tarkov inspiration. Like there's vendors and all that stuff, John, like Marauders. It's early access. It's $27. And like, it's one of those things where it's early access and it's very early access. It is not ready. Like the combat felt bad. The movement felt bad. The stealth didn't feel good. You'll be playing and all of a sudden I saw a group of dudes just like appear in front of me. So the spawning is like completely off, but it was getting hyped up by a lot of streamers, even some people who were playing early. I checked in, like some people were being very honest and other people were like, look, this is really cool. But then if you go look at like the reviews, like people are saying, no, it's not. So I was like, I'm going to figure this out for myself. And unfortunately,
so it's bots or like, do you think it's just being
okay, yeah. So you're fighting.
What are you doing?
You're fighting these huge, massive machines. Okay, and these like it's like post-apocalyptic like scavenger shit.
It looks interesting.
It does. Like, I'm saying
actually looks cool.
It looks so good. I was hyped for this. I was like, I can't wait. We're all going to get this. We're going to play. But unfortunately, it's just like early for. But that doesn't mean you should write it off. But I know people were looking forward to this, and I feel like if you don't go buy this on the first day, like you have got to give this game time. And I think the developers are very cool. They've been very like vocal, talking to people who they gave keys to, saying like, we're going to fix this. We know you're here in the early part. And it's like early access there's like two types of early access. One is where it's like a Kickstarter and they want people involved where you shape the game and it gets better and it needs like a year and you're a part of it. The other early access is like, okay, it's pretty much done and maybe we'll add some DLC down the road. This is
right, like Hades.
Yeah, this is the former.
It's
and
more
this
of a
is
marketing technique, not a
and it's like,
I want input.
So if you're seeing people hyping this up, they're either not being honest or they're paid or sponsored. They don't want to be mean because, like I said, it hurts to be mean to these devs because like they're doing a badass thing.
A third like
I think
tier,
we do. Steamy said like Kickstart or something because
supporter version or play testing.
Playtest.
Player playtest.
Well, I mean, I don't
hate the idea. But
you honestly, already can do that free. You can try to get request
yeah.
access. There are playtests. Unfortunately, that's what this game needed. Like, I get that they want the money to continue perfecting it, but unfortunately, I feel like it's in a playtest alpha state right now.
So,
it is not in an early access state.
Okay, so whose fault is this though? Is it the people using early access as a Kickstarter kind of incubator?
Well, they're being upfront about it. They're saying it's early access.
Is it the people that make it like Hades 2? They basically release a finished game, so they basically have 2 launches of the game essentially.
Yeah, like everything is early access
Gate 3
right
was
now.
the same way.
What's that?
Well, yeah,
Baldur's Gate 3 was the same way for about a year. People were all into that.
I played Baldur's Gate 3 like 3 times before it released. And like, I always stopped because I knew it was only like part of the campaign, but that's what made the game so good, that they had people. But when you have Baldur's Gate, you have people willing to test it and willing to play it. Yeah. It's harder with an indie game like this, but it was getting a lot of attention from like some of the PC streamers and stuff. I know Asmon showed it. So, it does look cool, and there's so much cool about it. The atmosphere, like once this is right, and if they can perfect this is going to be an awesome, scav game to go in with your friends and loot and extract and do all the typical kind of like almost like a Tarkov feel kind of thing going on. But right now I can't say go buy this even to like follow through with the development.
I do agree there needs to be like a third tier before early access.
Well,
this is early, this is before early, this is like we're still building this.
But they have that already.
Alpha access.
It's called request access, and there's alpha access. It's just when you want to charge for it.
But money doesn't change hands at that.
Yes, money doesn't change hands. So you're saying maybe you could add like a fee to the request access for $20
this
thing?
feels like one of those games. Yeah, this feels like a game that needs its own category. It's not technically a full game that they've released. It's not even an early access game.
But the thing is, there really needs to be, because we have Kickstarter and those other GoFund, whatever the fuck all those sites are that raise money for the purpose of developing a game before it's released, and Steam should kind of own that space and curate that stuff in the correct way.
No, I mean, they're not being deceived. I mean, to be fair, it's $27. If they were to perfect this, it could easily be a $40 game. So sometimes you pay less getting in early. It's just that I can't recommend this as an early access title. This really is okay. It feels like they built this cool world and I can walk around in it, but the shooting doesn't feel right. The movement's not right. The spawning is not right. And it's not something that they're just going to fix in 2 weeks. This is a lot of work,
Early access, by definition on Steam's page, fits everything you're saying.
Exactly.
So the tier that we need is the one that Hades 2 went into, where it's just like pretty much done.
Well, just like when a game releases in full, not all games are created equal, and not all early access are created equal. And luckily, there is a good review system. There are videos out there. There's podcasts you can listen to like ours, where we try these things for you and we sort of give you our honest take. So for me personally, I mean, I appreciate what they're doing. There's so much cool about it, the atmosphere and stuff. But once I was kind of trying to shoot stuff and feeling how clunky it was, and the spawn, it's like you'll just get people spawning on your heads, and then you can get animation stuck where you're walking and your gun's in the air, and they are still being honest, like, well, we're going to work on that. And so it's like, give these guys time if you want to support it. But it's not a polished early access experience. So on the other side of that, here's a game, Witchfire, which has had 2 early access periods. The first one on the Epic Game Store. The second one now just released on Steam in early access. Now, this is from former developers who did Painkiller, Bulletstorm, Vanishing of Ethan Carter. It's only 12 people, but there is a lot of talent behind this game with Witchfire, and you feel that immediately. So it is very cool. It looks a bit like Hunt Showdown. The gunplay feels just like a gothic Destiny to me. Like the jumping, the movement, the shooting, it feels really, really, really good. So this early access though is not there yet for me yet, because they have this beautiful, and graphically it's awesome too, but they just need more of a hook for this game. So this is also an early access. Like everything's ready, but like the hook of the game, I feel like it's just a little bit too grindy right now for what it actually is. So let's talk about what it is. It is a third person RPG shooter. Look at all these tags they put on: Souls-like extraction game. And it does have elements of all these things. I mean, it's sort of a bit out there with what it is at first when you're playing, but once you get the hook, it's pretty cool. It's just, I think they need more of a hook to get you to want to keep playing. So you sort of get in and you're in this cool gothic hub world. You get to pick from like one of 9 classes. I picked a saint, and it's gunplay mixed with magic. And like I said, really feels like Destiny, I think, completely, and in a good way. Like the shooting, like if you like Destiny, you're going to like the feeling of this. Now, it's not co-op. I think it needs co-op, but I also think it needs more of a hook. So let's get back to kind of more of what you do.
This is like Destiny with pilgrims?
No, not Pilgrims. It's
10 minutes in
Gothic.
this game.
So you get it. I think you might like this, Matt.
Pilgrim hats on.
It's a roguelike,
really
but it's the difficulty of a Souls game, so a bit more like a Remnant.
Oh, it's a roguelite?
Yes, but
Do you like Remnant 2?
A little bit like Remnant 2, and the new DLC for Remnant just came out today, by the way, the Dark Horizon. It's their third and final one. I'm probably just going to go play that instead of this, but here's why. This game, Witchfire, though, is one to watch once it comes out of its second early access, and here's why. You get in there, Matt, and you are in this hub world, this church. It sort of feels like a Soulsy hub, where it's like, go out and kill the 5 bosses. You go out on these expeditions to these cool sort of, I don't know, like abandoned witch towns. And your goal is to kill the witch in each town or her helper, or whoever it is, like the acolyte or something like that.
Sounds like Puritans to me, Michelle.
Yes. It feels like you're in Salem, John, but like more of a badass, like European Salem. It has like Italian vibes to it, very like cliffs and monasteries. Right. There's maybe some medieval French stuff going on. And you get in there and you do these little expeditions on these sort of smallish maps, these hub worlds. I wish it was one big open world, cause that would have taken this game to the next level if all these places were connected. Maybe they'll do that. But right now you sort of portal into them, which is kind of a popular thing these days. And even Destiny, you do that and you kill a bunch of stuff. You're earning a currency. So if you can get back out with that currency, if you can extract it, you start leveling up your character, which gives you access to more things at the home base, like being able to craft potions or level weapons or change your gear or unlock different bosses to kill. So that has a bit of that Remnant portal thing going on there too. And like I said, this has so much like polish already with how the shooting feels, the movement feels, the character, like everything is perfect. Like graphically, I'm blown away by this game, and performance wise, it's awesome. So the only thing they have to do now, it is impressive. It's a $40 title. People are saying for the gameplay, it's too expensive. But and that's where I'm kind of sympathetic to, like, they need more of a hook because it's very grindy. You're going back in over and over and over into the same map. Okay. Cause you're trying to get currency. Like, I just unlocked enough currency to open up a secret place in my base. And then it's like, well, now you need to hold 12,000 currency at once to get to this certain level. And it's like, well, I've got to hold this currency. I can't even spend it. So now I'm running around over and over and over. And if you die, you lose your currency. You have to go back in and get it. So there's the Souls-like element. Like, I can't knock this game. Like, this is one where it's like, holy shit, this game's badass. There's actual talent behind Witchfire.
This could be really good.
It's going to be really good once they get the hook down. I think a little bit, like massage it a little bit more. This is something that I think will come out of early access in maybe 6 months or a year with like phenomenal, like a better gameplay loop, but like the set pieces are here and you could actually play and enjoy this now. It is getting decently reviewed, but some of the negativity I'm sympathetic with, people saying needs more of a hook. And I agree. I found myself of feeling the grind too much.
Dark fantasy. I was going to ask, what's this genre? Because remember
Gothic
last year
dark
there was another
fantasy
game. I love this kind of genre too.
Me too.
What was the first?
Well, especially coming up playing Space Marines with the Gothic castles. Last year, Remnant.
Yeah, I love that too.
Hunt Showdown.
But there was another one about a guy fighting vampires, like a Western versus vampires game. John, I think you played it.
That's
Evil
the game I was.
2 or something.
That's the game I was thinking of. The Western first
Evil
person.
West. Evil
West. Evil West. Yeah,
okay.
Evil West vibes.
I was going to say that before because I was thinking that immediately when I started looking at the screenshots.
Yeah.
But Evil West was more of a linear,
different game,
first person shooter.
Yeah. Gives me the same.
I would describe this as a roguelike Destiny 2 as far as what it feels like, but the look is pure Gothic, dark fantasy, pulling no punches, like spooky, scary, dark, badass, awesome. I love it. The roguelike aspect, you keep going back in, and you have to keep going back in and you're built. Okay. Well, there's a meta progression system.
Okay.
So, you have to keep queuing and you get stronger and you might die, but you're taking something out with you that you're extracting.
Doing the same level potentially many times.
Yes. And
getting more buff each time.
Exactly. Yes. But I really like a lot of Witchfire. Unfortunately though, I said like if they can just give us polish the gameplay a little bit, maybe add co-op if that's possible. Cause it's hard to compete with Remnant, which I think is a great co-op game when you're offering us this and the I like the movement in this better. Like Remnant, I think is a great game. The movement can be a little clunky intentionally, though. It's supposed to feel that way. You don't feel any of this game feels smooth. This game feels clean. Okay. Cool. So this in a co-op form would be phenomenal. So I hope they do that. But Witchfire is out for its second early access. Came out yesterday or on Steam or today on Steam. $40. I really do think you should check this out. If you can handle the grind for just no other purpose than the love of shoot. Yeah, check out Witchfire. I think when it comes out of early access, a lot of talent behind it and very, very cool. Just needs some more, but I love the look of it, everything about it. So are you going to play God of War Ragnarok on PC? Boom Musa is asking me. I kind of talked about this on our subs podcast, John, that we do on Discord. It's kind of like I'm not in the mood for it. I played about a quarter of it on PlayStation with my sister. I think it's more of a Christmassy thing for me. Matt, I don't know. Did you play the second God of War? I forget.
Oh, yeah. No, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I want to play it. I want to finish it. So it's just kind of like, not a mood thing. It's a wintry kind of thing for me. And there was just so much to play this week.
It's a different vibe to get into a God of War game. So I totally, and winter would be amazing too with this kind of game because it's all frosty and
That's one of the few like single player story games I actually like and really enjoy playing. So I want to make sure I'm in the mood. I just came off of Warhammer Space Marines. So I'm kind of like, I kind of just did that. But that gothic feel of that kind of fit perfectly with Witchfire. Like I was in another cathedral with like choirs and like, it's just really, really cool.
The guar in the background.
Yeah. So Witchfire, good early access experience. But I think it needs a little bit more. All right. So let's move on quickly. What else did I play? Okay. So Frostpunk 2. Did you play it all that?
No, but tell me, please.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm torn on Frostpunk 2, okay? Because they've done a lot with this game. They've added like a sandbox mode or whatever, Utopia Builder. I didn't try that. But this game is just larger scale versus the first game in and for good and bad, right? So it's a little overwhelming.
Game is so intimidating.
The first game is very intimidating in more ways than one. So if you don't know, it's sort of like it's not really like a city builder. It's like a grand strategy game, okay? But this game is the epitome of things aren't good, okay? Because it's stressful. People are yelling.
You're making decisions to starve people, right?
Yeah,
Generator's broken.
They're just saying the worst shit. It's like, I thought it couldn't get worse than feeding kids sawdust soup in Frostpunk 1, but now
I've got to other kids now.
Yeah, they're yelling their fingers fell off, that they have frostbite and they're hungry, and I think they're eating the fingers now. I really do think they're eating fallen fingers. I don't. You probably can.
They're like, did you find that recipe?
Yeah, they're like, I don't want to eat yellow snow again. So yeah, you're serving like yellow snow soup. Okay, so the larger scale than the first one is like, so it used to be separate buildings. Now it's more like a district you can open up. So you do that by frost breaking into like a whole zone. So you have to frost break an area first before you build sort of like a little hub area. So it's like citizens also operate.
Why don't these people leave? Just get on a plane.
I don't know.
Get out of this fucking frigid hellhole.
They can't.
What?
Yeah, they need your grandpa's
choosing
spice.
This lifestyle.
John, your big sausage energy could maybe save the yellow piss soup or yellow snow soup, whatever.
Yeah.
They don't have spice. Spice is a luxury. These guys don't have anything. They're eating fingers. Okay. So now the people also act as more of like a hub, like a faction. Just like it's not individual buildings, it's more of like a district. The citizens now seem to act more as a faction when you're moving them around, and there's different like ways to please them or piss them off. They went big on everything. So I did the tutorial, and I was definitely confused at first, even as somebody who played the first one. It's like definitely bigger and more complicated. It feels like a grand strategy game. The reason why I'm torn on it is like, if you haven't played these, and they're both on Game Pass now, I believe, I kind of feel like the first one is still just as good and maybe the better one to play, but but if you want
the aesthetic of this game, to me, is off the charts.
It is.
Like,
it is.
It's
another one that I love this. I love the
charts.
It is.
I did try the first one for a very brief moment. I don't remember why or how, but I know I did. And it's a lot to take in, though, right? This game?
It's a lot to take in. But the first one was like palatable for me. This one, I have to admit, I was like, maybe I just was in the mood, but it felt overwhelming, like, and kind of a little tedious to start. It's a lot, but I think it's going to pay off if you're willing to put the time. If you like one of those 4-time strategy games or whatever, where there's a lot. But it's a great Game Pass get.
I played the first one like 50 hours, and I only beat it once. But I learned so much about the game.
I'm bad at this game. My people died.
I'm really bad at this game.
I may have to put it on easy. I'm on like the second. I don't know. I was like, I may need to. I don't know. Maybe you're supposed to like get your ass kicked a few times or something. But it's brutal. Like, and it's like. Yeah. It's not like
you
a
make
friendly
brutal decisions.
Yeah, you do.
Is this game that? By the way, AMD has a video card branded with this. Like, is this game that big of a deal?
It's pretty popular.
It has
everyone who has a top 10 list has,
and for good reason. Like, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, they went, like, they doubled down on, I think, the difficulty, on the size, like the scale of it. And so, like, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, thank you for the sub, Sniper Wolf," and hope you have a better day today. He was saying he
Thanks, Sniper
had a
Wolf.
bad day the other day in Discord. So yeah, I just, if you don't mind that, like, okay, I've got to sit down and concentrate on this and really learn this game through this hour tutorial. Like, you're going to love this setup. So I'm going to play more, but it's a great Game Pass game for me. And once again, wintry. I think I might return to this. It's snowy. It's like frozen hell. It's really well done. It's just like they went big with this for better and worse.
On Xbox Game Pass. On Xbox Game Pass as well.
Yeah, that's we'll talk about that in our February show.
Website.
And then really quickly, kind of the thing I enjoyed most this week, though, I have to say, was an old game. And Matt, you'll probably understand this more than John, because I think you may have played this. So there's been a lot of Batman stuff going on lately. There's a rumor that Rocksteady is working on a new Batman game, which, let's be fair, it's not the original team who made the Arkham games. It's the people who did Suicide Squad. They already left. So I know, but The Penguin's on HBO right now. I've been watching it. It's a good show. I'm in a Batman mood. It was also the 85th anniversary of Batman. So I'm like, I wonder what Batman games I've missed. And I happened to see Batman, the Telltale series from 2016, not the sequel, the first original one. Did you ever play it, Matt?
Yeah, definitely the first season.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, what a great story. Like, probably, like, I don't know. I love the way they tackle the story in this game, and I've been having a good time, quote, playing. So I got it for $3 on a key site. It's $15 on Steam.
That's
don't judge. For $3, like, I'm doing this like a real, I mean, it feels like a real show. That's how good this game is. And I missed it back in the day. Yeah. Like, it's broken up into episodes. And what kind of Batman
do we have? Is he a Dark Knight? Is he?
Yeah, well, he is having some problems with Harvey Dent and Catwoman, of course.
Okay.
But no, you pick, it's a typical Telltale thing. You pick dialogue, quick time events, free to walk around, be in the Batcave. I mean, Alfred, I don't like Alfred. I've been having some trouble with him, but I don't want to give any spoilers away if people do play this, because I know, but the thing is, this is a game where I feel like the gameplay gets in the way of the story. And let me explain, because it's so good where I just want to put my keyboard or controller down and watch this like a Batman animated series. And I have
just watch it as a movie.
But they keep interrupting me to press E, or, you know, do a quick time event, or press left. And it's like, you know what? I was kind of just enjoying the story. Let me just make choices without doing this stupid stuff. I feel like it's just not aging well for me.
You genuinely can just relax enough and just say, okay, I'm not playing a game right now.
It needs to be done like a Netflix.
I have a hard time with that. I have a real hard time getting I have a hard time getting in that mood where it's like, okay, I'm going to accept the fact there's a story here.
No, I got to play something. I get so bored with cutscenes.
But Michelle's saying, though,
I'm saying it's getting in the way for me. I want to make the choices. Trust me. I want to tell Harvey.
Fantastic, though.
They did a good job.
They tell an amazing story.
It's so good, and it's overwhelmingly positive reviews. People really love this one, and I see why. And I'm not knocking. I'm saying for me, it's where I don't want to press EEQQ up down like I'm playing Indigo Prophecy.
EEQQ.
I just want to pick the choice. I want to make choices that impact the game, and unfortunately, they kind of impact them, but not really. There's still like one ending. But so you may pick: do I want to give this information to Vicky Vale or the police commissioner? You know. So, but there's these choices that I really love making, and dialogue choices I want to make and all this shit. Do I want to be a dick Batman, or do I want to be a good Batman, a bad Batman? Do I want to intimidate Mayor Hill as Batman, or, you know, as Bruce Wayne? There's all these fun choices and stuff. And the story is phenomenal, like I said, but I don't want to have to worry about every second, like, oh, okay, shit, I missed that cue. I was like into the story. So I kind of want like a story mode in the story game. Yeah.
I'm surprised there isn't a Telltale mode where it's like, you know what? Just fuck it. Just press A once in a while.
Yeah, or let me just choose. Give me the dialogue. Let me just choose. Don't make me do these, because you're not going to fail these combat sequences.
Origin story.
Yes, it goes back, and in this one, there's something really interesting going on with his parents
getting killed in the alley one more time.
No, I love it. It's like a Groundhog Day thing. That's what I love about it.
I don't want to see that over and over again.
Yeah, but his parents in this one, Matt, you probably don't remember.
His parents died in an alley.
I want to see it. I want to see those motherfuckers dropped to the ground. I want to see the pearls going off.
No, we don't need to see that all the time.
You do, because you're seeing it under a new light every time, under a new universe.
There's no new lights. It's always his parents get shot in an alley.
This is a very new light, okay? Do you remember the story of his parents in this game? This is a very, very new light.
They die in a fucking alley after a show. That's what happens.
Yeah, but you don't know why. You know what? No. Look, there's a spoiler. I won't tell you.
There is a twist to it.
This is not like, so this is a story that's...
What could the twist possibly be?
I got shot by a shotgun this time.
This is the only time his parents have been shown in this particular light this hard. Like, so, yeah, there's something going on.
Didn't, like, the dad give her a diamond or something?
Yeah, Eric says, wait, Batman's parents die? Spoiler alert. Shit. John, you always do this to piss people off.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Every fucking movie starts with his parents dying
people
in
don't
an
know
alley.
that. They thought those were his
Bruce Wayne is
friends.
Batman too, but I didn't see
No,
the
wait,
last
don't
one.
say that. Don't say that. Harvey Dent is Two-Face. Yeah, look, I really like this game though. Like game, quote unquote game. I'm not into the Telltale stuff. I know there's a couple of good ones out there, but this is a really good Batman story. Okay.
You should try Fable. Fable. Telltale did like a Fable season about imaginary characters in the real world, but it's like a really like dark, gritty police story.
Okay. I've never heard of that one. I haven't heard of that one.
Sorry. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
It's The Wolf Among Us.
The Wolf Among Us?
Oh, Wolf Among Us.
That's there too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay. Batman Telltale series. If you're a nerd like me and you like Batman and like Batman comics and like animated series rather, and like all the movies and stuff. And if you're watching The Penguin and you want a good story, like I really like the story, but stop interrupting me to hit Q. All right. I'm not gonna, you just like, you can't fail really. Like it's not hard. So I don't know what happened to Telltale. Didn't Netflix buy them and then not do anything? I forget. ESP is asking. I don't remember. I think they got sold.
Is that true?
Something bad happened. Bruce Wayne got to them. Or Bruce Wayne's parents.
No, they tried to.
Yeah. They didn't die in the alley, John. That's the twist.
Netflix did not buy Telltale.
Well, something
but the
bad
two companies
happened.
did have a partnership that led to the release of Minecraft Story Mode on Netflix.
Which they erased from existence, and I'm really upset because I want to let my daughter watch it.
Well, Netflix needs to be doing stuff like this and not with Bear Grylls survival choices. You remember that? It was like, do you want to go after the bear or the rattlesnake? It was like a really bad version of would you rather lick your grandmother's ass or like watch your mom bang your dad or something. It was like stupid.
Grandmother's ass.
Would this be a good Netflix remote control game?
Yes, exactly. But just dumb it down to where I only make choices because this is a good enough story to stand on its own.
Are you moving around in the world?
Yes, you can walk around the Batcave. You're walking around the manor. You're doing certain things. So there's like detective work, like Cyberpunk. You're investigating crimes because Bruce Wayne or Batman was known as like the best detective ever. So there's like a lot of detective work here, John.
Detective comics, Michelle.
Yeah. So it's intense. Okay. But once again, these scenes piss me off. Every time I was like having to like, I don't want to do this shit. Just let me make choices because it's not good gameplay. Let's be real. Linking like a dead body and a bullet is not good gameplay, okay? But they told such a great story and the voice acting and the choices is really good. So Batman Telltale series. All right, so other than that, yeah, it was a busy week. There's 5 things I just brought up. I'm going to move on. I am drinking 1 true lime, 1 true lemon in water. John, tell me all about UFO 50
you do that?
And oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, water with 1 true lemon, 1 true lime. Delicious.
Doesn't that
now,
make,
do
like,
you go to a bar?
It might explode.
I want you to go to a bar and
Can I have
request
water
that.
with lemon and lime in it? And she'll be like, they're gonna look at me funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You
guys,
go
to a bar and say you want a Kirkland.
I'm not going to a bar first.
A Kirkland spring water with 1 true lemon, 1 true lime.
A Kirkland?
Yeah, Costco.
No, this is spring. I don't want
Kirkland,
that. I don't.
The best of the best.
No, this is flat water. It's normal water. It's just water with true lemon, true lime. It's no sparkles going on here. Would you rather? Yeah, let's not read that. All right, John, UFO 50. Tell me about this game that you hated at first, and then I told you to stick with it because there's secrets, and now I bet you like it. What is this game? There's drama around it or hype.
Ooh, what's this game?
You don't know UFO 50?
Oh, UFO 50. Yes, I've heard a lot of good things. They're good things, right? It's a good game.
Spelunky guy.
Yeah, so Spelunky guy made UFO 50. Okay. And I went into
What's
this.
His background? Sorry. Is that I'm supposed to be like.
The game Spelunky. It's like a Montezuma's Revenge.
Oh, okay.
Kind of platformer 8-bit thingy. But okay, so I went into this game with high expectations, okay? Because I loved Retro Game Challenge so much on the DS.
Yep.
And I thought that this was going to be a Retro Game Challenge game. Now, Retro Game Challenge on the DS, which is a game that we talked about like 15 years ago or longer, was a game with I don't remember it exactly, but basically the gist was you were a kid at like your uncle's house, or I don't know where the fuck you were, but you were in a living room with a console and a bunch of games, and you had to complete challenges playing these bullshit NES games, right? And they were just fictional NES games. And you played them, you play the first one, you'd have all these challenges, and then that would unlock the next one. And then you do the next challenges, and that one unlocked the next one, okay? So I thought going in, that's what this game was going to be. So right away, I launched the game, and I have all 50 games unlocked. Which actually upset me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, so you've got 50 fictional NES era games.
That's too much at once. It's like...
Well, I kind of thought that was bad game design, okay? And I was thinking, okay, so you want me to just randomly start picking these games and playing them. Games I've never heard of. They're all made up from that 8-bit era. And it's a lot of them all at once. And the thing about Retro Game Challenge that I love so much was that you were basically forced to get good at each stupid game, but to get the next one, right? And so none of that was here. And so I was kind of like, let me pick this game. And I'm like, oh, this is stupid. And then I back out. Let me pick this game. And
it's like getting one of those ROMs, like ROM dumps on a disc where it's like 50 things you don't want.
Or too much choice so you can't.
Yeah.
And it's like, I played this one for 30 seconds and it looks stupid.
These look amazing though.
Let's back out. Let me play
this
look
game. Really cool.
Yeah,
Are you Pat
Matt,
from SNL? I think I saw you on the Sony State of Play today.
Let me try this game.
Tell me why this isn't amazing, because this looks like a point-and-click game.
So
I know why it isn't amazing, because he's like, I did this already. I played Retro Game Challenge. I discovered this type of game first. I lived this.
This
I
is
played
bad
NES
game
games.
design, and I'm telling you right now, I know how to do this better. Okay,
that's right.
That's what I was thinking.
I knew.
Can I suggest though? Because I read an article about this game.
Yes,
they wanted every game unlocked because the actual game is playing them and understanding the connections between the games, seeing how they evolve.
All right, so let's talk about that. Okay. So once I got past let me pick this game. Okay. I started reading stuff. Within the game. So every cartridge has like a story and info, and because this studio was like UFO something. That's why it's called UFO 50. Okay. So this fictional studio that made all these games throughout the years. And by the way, the cartridges, the 50 cartridges that you see is basically a timeline of the studio. From the first game, which they said was made by the founders on their spare time when they were working for some other company, to the last game where they were fully, So
the technology changes through the years, like a video game changes. The graphics
Not
get
really,
better.
though. It's still,
That's what I heard.
still,
it's like a trip down memory lane.
But it's still it stays within the NES lane, though.
Now
but
I'm
the
Pat too.
Yeah,
we're all Pat now.
Pick this game. I don't like it.
Kids totally know who Pat is.
They get it.
But
Google it.
The games don't go from like NES to PlayStation 3, Michelle. They stay within the NES constraints.
That's
right?
cool though. They go to SNES levels, I think.
Not really. The last game.
John's not impressed. Okay.
The last game was I know NES. I lived it. And
how big are these games? Is my question. Could you beat these in an hour?
I couldn't even tell you that because
you didn't play.
No, because I definitely did not spend hours on a single game. And some of them you can't because they're hard. They're actually hard, like NES era games.
Why is this not a good game? All you're saying is that it's 50 fully fleshed
let me
out
get to the magic. Let me get to the magic I discovered in the game. Okay. So when you're playing these games, you pause it, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And when you pause the game, there is an option called terminal. And if you select that, it brings up a terminal that shows you the source code, right? All hex.
Can you edit it?
No, you can't. But what you're supposed to do is pick pieces out of the source code and enter them in. And that's a code. But here's the magic of this game that I didn't realize at first. When you go to terminal, it's context. It's based on context. So if you're on the menu screen, the code you see in terminal is different than if you're on the first screen when the game's playing, and which is different than the screen when you go to the left, which is different than the screen when you go to the right. So this game basically wants you to keep checking the terminal because not always will there be a code in there. For instance, the very first game, which I think is called, I don't know, something with a B. The very first game is like this little like Metroidvania kind of platformer thing, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the terminal when the game starts, there's really nothing in the code that you can use. But if you go to the left and then you look at the terminal, suddenly there's something in that code that's useful. And you take that you take those two words, You input them in and you type them in and press enter. And then all of a sudden, it boots another game. That's not
crazy.
In the UFO
There's a lot
50.
of secrets. I saw a Reddit thread with like all the pages.
But here's the thing. Yeah. I'm just going to tell you about one rabbit hole I went down.
Okay.
So I go to the left of the first game. I'm just giving you guys a pro tip here. First game, go to the left, go to terminal. There will be a very obvious code. Put it in. That will take you to another game that is not part of the 50 games. That game puts you in a room, a weird, creepy room with a computer and boxes and a ladder. And eventually what happens is you turn the power on, which allows you to turn the computer on, which then allows you to put one of the floppy disks in that you found in a box, which then boots another game.
But is it another shitty game you don't like, John? Is that the problem?
But
Inscription. It sounds like Inscription in a sense. Like,
but there's something about this little loop that's very unique to itself and fun. And almost it's a game within a game within a game within a game. And it's also trying to tell some fucked up story. I don't quite know what it is just yet, but something happened with this company and these people and all this stuff. And it's hidden in the source code.
Okay.
So
you've just sold me this game. So
really,
this is your game of the year, right?
I don't know. I'm so conflicted about it because as someone that was a very nerdy kid that was doing BBSs and
you
coding.
Played that game before.
So did the guy who made this. John's calling him some kid. He's 40 years old. It was
okay,
so
whatever.
Like the guy who made this lived it too. You're not the only one who lived it. We all had Nintendo systems growing up.
I'm just saying,
I lived this, you young whippersnapper.
No. I'm talking about just tinkering under the hood, wanting to do little detective things like this.
Yeah.
There's something really nerdy about looking at the code. Most of the time it's gibberish. Every now and then you would see something that makes sense in the code, you put it in, and it takes you down some just fucking rabbit hole in the game. And some of the games are pretty fun, though. There's the last game I really like, and I played it multiple times. It's kind of like this weird Russian Attack clone. Remember the game Russian Attack by Konami? So there's a lot of games that are like you'll recognize from other games. You know, there's like shmups, there's
this
platformers.
To me is sounding like play Bejeweled to see a nipple. It's like Matt's porn games. I feel like that's what it's sounding like to me.
Yeah,
these games look legit fun though. Like I see Deja Vu. Do you remember that game Deja Vu on the NES? The detective one.
I played that.
This is my favorite game.
Yeah,
but it was a point and click. It was an early point and click. Okay. So this looks like one of those kind of Mappy's Land sport. I'm gonna get into this.
I think you will. Now. It's got good reviews, to be fair. And John, you do think it's worth looking at, right?
Is it on console though?
This game?
I don't know if it's on console.
I don't know if it is either.
It'll come there maybe eventually, or at least Switch. Right?
It is on.
But Matt, you still have a PC, and it's like these games can play on anything, right? So
I can do this game.
It's only on PC. Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, it's a perfect deck game, a Steam Deck game.
Okay.
Listen, I kind of stick with my original stance, though. I think I would. Okay, the detective thing is fun. And the terminal thing is definitely fun because it really changes how you play these games. Because once I realized that the code in the terminal changes depending on what screen you're on, makes me constantly check the terminal, right? So like I'll play, I'm on screen A, I jump around, I kill some guys, I go to the right, now I'm on screen B, go to the terminal again. It's like you're constantly doing that. And there's a bunch of terminal commands that will you can actually control this kind of pseudo computer, to reboot, go to the main menu. You can load games from it. There's all these commands that people are finding. It's not just what I described.
Yeah,
I like that.
You can actually control the system that it's running on. So
he can get out of it to his desktop windows and go in his folder, and Matt can do some voyeur
can I be
shit.
A peeper?
Yes, you're gonna look at his dick collection. He's got that titled
So, listen, there's a lot of things I really appreciate about what's going on here because I do like
it's creative.
It's very creative. I do think, though, that limiting the choice would have been a bigger hook to get you into the game.
Yeah, unlock the game so you can play them.
But also, I give them credit for not telling you there's no setup. You're just dumped into 50 games. There's no story. There's no setup. It doesn't tell you that there's a terminal. It's just you have to discover everything in the game. And again, I appreciate that too, because that takes a little bit of balls to do that, right? Not have like some tutorial.
And it's in the spirit of a retro game where you weren't handheld to everything and you figured it out, and there wasn't the internet to look everything up. And so that's cool.
And I'll say this: all the games have some goals too, which is redeeming. But you get like little trophies or something. Like it'll say like if you see like 50 levels.
This is me.
Yeah.
So, voyeurism, trophy hunting.
You got to crack. You've got to get out to his desktop. I'm telling you, that guy's got something in his folder.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So each game has like 2 goals, basically, Matt. Like the first game I know is like the first game's like a Metroidvania style game. So you have to, if you get to 50 screens, you get like the trophy for that. I know that's one of them. And I got to like 30. And the games aren't exactly like super easy at all. They're not. They're like
different. I like it though. It's something
they're good
different.
Old 8 school games. Like back in the day when I was a kid, I got some NES game that would maybe take 2 hours to finish, if you were really good at it, but it might have taken me 2 months to get those 2 hours done, because you always starting from the beginning,
Yeah.
Right.
So I do recommend it. I think if you like what I'm saying, then you'll totally dig it.
Love what you're saying, buddy. Love what you're saying.
But other than that, I played Plucky Squire.
Yeah, so Matt's going to talk about it. Jump in with it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about it together.
We can do a 2D table for that one.
Yeah, I'm drinking Galactic Vagabond. All right, Matt, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, well, thanks for asking. I spent a lot of time over the last 2 weeks with Astrobot.
Yeah, me too. I'm still playing that, by the way. I didn't mention it. How many guys do you have? I think I have 140 or 50. I'm like halfway through.
I platinum this game.
Wait, you finished it? Get the fuck out!
A week. I was deeply obsessed with this game, and so were like my 2 kids. They have their own files. We were just like going at it.
So did you get all 300 of the dudes?
All 301 of the dudes, my friend.
Oh, is that one the plat?
I don't want to ruin anything. There's so many like just things that unlock.
Don't, because I still love it. I'm still playing it, and I see myself playing it throughout the winter. I'm in no rush to finish it, and I want to enjoy it. And there's DLC coming.
I look forward to like my kids playing, because I just love playing it again, like these levels again, and helping them find bots and whatnot. I like that. I don't know what Nebula you're on, but I like that the game does get harder.
Yes, the one I'm on now is getting harder. I'm on the 4th or 5th planet or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember the fucking the dragon or the octopus or something.
It's on the left, top left.
It's on the bottom left. I think is the one I'm on.
Bottom left. Yeah. But there's so many hidden levels in this thing, and so many different.
But I agree, though, it is getting harder. Because when I played over the weekend, the one level I'm on, I died a lot.
And then you get those special PlayStation challenge levels, like themed on each of the buttons of the PlayStation control, like X, O, triangle.
Oh, John, you were showing me an article where people like the soulless dedication to Astrobot to Sony is evil.
Yeah,
people we're explaining this. So, 2 articles.
Yeah, there's articles right now saying that people are upset because this is such a what was the language?
It was weird. It was like it's celebrating Sony and it's shameless. It's like, that's the point of the game.
Isn't that the entire Nintendo lineup? Super Mario Party, Super Mario.
Right, I gotta find those articles.
Anything. It's not political enough or something. It was like something insane.
Well, you want to know something, though? I had a weird feeling that this was going to happen. Like, I honestly thought it, because this is so benign and so, like, safe in every fucking way, right? Like, you can't find any fault in this, and you can't inject anything into it, because if you did, it wouldn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
You look like an idiot if you're trying to make this a woke game. You'd be like, what are you on? This is just about a little robot. And it's like a platform.
It was weird. It's like, now that even Astrobot isn't safe enough. They're rating it like it's weird.
Yeah, can you find those headlines, those articles?
I'll dig away while Matt talks about stuff.
It's dumb. So no, Astrobot, definitely a contender for Game of the Year for me. And we'll talk about it in the news, but they announced more content for it.
Yep.
Which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, they did free DLC.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it, because that's my favorite type of DLC for the Astrobot games.
What do you mean, Matt?
Okay, well, I'm teasing the news section. Yeah. I'm also,
but you know, to go back to those articles that were saying that.
Yeah.
That this
Here we
game
go.
is.
I'm worried
okay.
the robot in Astrobot isn't attractive enough for me to. Oh no, that was the thing. Kotaku wrote an article, "Why We Deserve Better Than Astrobot. Its soulless devotion to the Sony brand is a real problem." That was one of the articles. Soulless devotion to the Sony brand is a real problem.
First of
Kotaku.
all, fuck the
Crap,
fuck off.
Kotaku.
Have you heard of a game called Smash Brothers or Mario Kart or
Marvel All-Stars?
Yeah,
Street Fighter.
exactly. The multiverse game, whatever that's called, the Marvel multiverse, whatever.
All the fighting games in the world that just are
you know what?
franchises.
When I was reviewing the game a couple weeks ago with Matt,
God.
I mean, I was saying that this is a love letter to Sony. You're flying around in a PlayStation
So what?
ship.
Blizzard's done that. Nintendo's done that.
Your little
Splinter
TIE
Cell,
fighter is a
crazy.
PlayStation controller. But that's
they
why
did a really good job at it.
But
so.
Sony needs to do this. This is very Nintendo.
But they have to have
Nintendo,
clickbait, rage bait at Kotaku. That's what they do.
But Nintendo does this all the time. Nintendo leans into its shit all the time and like embraces it, and Sony not so much. Really,
it's a real problem.
Right.
I like how I said it's a real
Yeah.
problem. It's in the title. It's so.
Yeah, Kotaku. Astrobot's soulless devotion to the Sony brand is a real problem.
Astrobot has legit though. Astrobot has so much soul.
They're saying that it's corporate.
There's so
core.
much love in this game.
It's corporate core, Matt. Does it no favors?
You're just fetishizing the corporations. It says, "Oh yeah, let me rub
Licking
that
the Sony
juice."
boot.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
come
Sony
on.
celebrating all of these brands. You could be
you're-
Nathan
wow,
Drake.
it's
How
cool.
dare
God of War's
you?
in it or whatever.
You could be.
Yeah, that's an awesome level. That was a great level.
I know. I love that. That was
What?
probably my favorite one when you got that little gun and like
Super
you
shame.
could be Kratos and there's levels based on Ape Escape.
People
and
want you to live in the
Loco
Chaz
Roco.
zone or something. They're just fucking weird. Like let people play Astrobot.
They just
it's
want
not
the
a
clicks.
problem.
It's all about the cliffs. The clicks. Okay, very quickly.
And by the
'cause I
way,
know,
they're saying.
Okay, we'll go
Okay,
back to this.
I want to back up. Just I
John's
wanna-
upset.
So
Yeah.
I am upset. You want to know why? Because they're using my own ammo against me.
What's that?
Yeah, that's true.
This is from that Kotaku article.
Oh, I thought you said that. 'cause
No,
you're from Nintendo, But anyways,
no.
yeah.
They said something that I say.
What's that?
On the
Oh.
other hand, it's possible and worryingly likely that Astrobot will be taken as another win for IP first art by committee video games.
No, you say design by committee, not art by
Same
committee.
thing. Same
This is
thing.
not a design by
Same
committee
thing.
video game.
This is literally like made by a super small 60-person team.
super creative. Like it's so.
It's a real
It's
problem.
critical and commercial success
Said
attributed not to its savviness nor its economical scope, but its
just
willingness.
like a troll.
But its willingness to play to expectations.
This game subverts expectations.
No, Matt.
At every turn.
Risk taking in this era of protracted development cycles, inflated budgets, and constant mass layoffs is
guy
not
is so obnoxious.
unusually the operative mode of publishers like Sony.
That's so obnoxious.
Yeah. All right, move on from this.
When
It's
was
making
the
me-
last time
I'm gonna start
Sony
making
put
some-
out
some jokes
something
you're not gonna
that
like.
actually looked and felt new, Matt?
I loved Astrobot. Game one of the game of the years for me, for sure.
It's a real
And the
problem.
fact that like it's getting my 12-year-old son back like on the console, I think is pretty telling too. And my daughter. So yeah, it's a family game. Get it, whatever. Okay, Star Wars. Very quickly, I'm 60 hours into this game, and it just keeps on giving. I am invested. This is my whale. I'm gonna platinum this shit. And anyways, so
Nice.
moving on. Yeah, let's talk about Plucky Squire.
Yeah, is
All
this
right,
all
let's
hype
talk
or is
about
there
it.
something here?
Let's talk about it. So,
We'll talk.
so I was not going to play this game, but I was being told that I would like it, and also from the listeners, like the Dirk, the Daring Dirk, right, Michelle? Was
Yeah,
that
we
his
got
name?
tweeted saying this is definitely
Yeah,
like
a bunch
Yeah.
of people asked
Matt
us about
John
this
type
game.
game.
It was one of those
Yeah,
that like
and I
hit
was
the
told
nerve.
I should play it,
Yep.
and it was kind of eating at me. You know, I think I should play it because it's a platformer, kind of at times.
The game is Plucky
And-
Squire.
Plucky Squire.
Frankie.
And so it was on PlayStation Plus, but you needed the upgraded subscription, which I did not have.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
had to-
neither did I.
You did. So I had the PS Plus Basic, and so I went in there to upgrade, and it said, and it was prorated. I had to pay like $21, I think, to basically have this new package till the end of the year, around there.
Yeah. I paid like $3 and then they're just going to charge me the new price in like 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. I had a few more months, but so I paid like $21 or something, which,
Gotcha.
so I have a decision to make now. Do I go in there and make sure it doesn't renew the deluxe one?
Because I haven't a key site for $20.
No, I wanted to do the PlayStation. I was just in the mood for living room.
But you don't own it at that point.
I fully understand how this works.
Okay.
It was my decision.
I don't know if it was. It's a real problem. This is an article. Let's do it.
So, okay. So going into this, I really avoided looking at a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that there was a 2D, 3D thing going on, but I didn't really know how or why, right? And Matt, when I launched the game, I instantly was sucked into little Big Planet vibes, especially with the narrator.
Hyper cute.
And the narrator and the hyper realistic kind of environment and the British narrator.
To the point where you can feel the texture of the paper on the book. Like they've done a phenomenal job of making everything seem, holy crap, the 3D environments are lifelike.
They are.
Yeah.
And so what this game is, it starts out, you're playing in a book, okay? Like literally a book. And it's kind of photorealistic. It's a children's book. It's the story of this plucky squire character. When you're inside the book, it's very much like a Zelda top-down style game. Would you agree, Matt?
Yes.
Old 2D Zelda. Hack and slash. You can jump. You get some moves. You get some weapons.
Almost exactly a Zelda-like, I'd say.
Yes.
Like in terms of the sword movements and dodging and everything.
Right. But what I appreciated almost immediately was how good it felt.
Yep.
Do you agree?
Super smooth combat, and the dodging is really satisfying as well.
Yeah.
Like you can flip around the environment when you're, and I don't know. Yeah, it's very basic combat, but it feels good. It slides. Right.
So what do you want to add about like the beginning of the game? Like what were you thinking?
So I went into it knowing there was that whole gimmick, that 2D to 3D. So I was hoping that would happen in the first 10 seconds.
It doesn't. It takes a while.
It doesn't. It takes a while. So
yeah.
So I was like, okay, I got to start judging this game on what it mostly might be, which is this 2D game that's a lot like Legend of Zelda. It cleverly uses turning pages to get through environments. And it was fine. My initial impressions were like, okay, this is fine. This is cute. I wasn't overwhelmed.
Right. But I have to say, the 2D stuff in the book, those controls, I can't explain what I'm saying, but
they're really good. They're really good.
It's just like
not too floaty, not too like
I
stodgy,
liked it immediately. I don't know why, but I just did. Like I felt like, and this is after I played UFO 50 for whatever, and then I played this. I'm like, this is a game. That's kind of how I felt. Yeah,
it's hard to describe, but once you get it in your hands, it's like, this is really good, tight platforming. And I like how they go. Like some pages will be like a
top-down
vertical platformer,
yeah,
and then it goes back to a top-down platform. That's the thing in this game. Like it switches the game modes a lot. You play a lot of like Punch-Out style boss fights.
That's right. That first boss with the Punch-Out style. I did like that a lot. It's literally Punch-Out, like NES Punch-Out. The first boss.
So I thought that was creative, and then there's a little gimmick with there's sentences on the page, so you got to mess around with the words to do it. There's
I like
big
that too.
Troll. You got to find the small troll, and he shrinks. Right.
It says like the forest is calm or whatever, like, and then you remove the word calm, and then
forest is on fire.
Yeah, and then you change that word now, and that changes the whole level, which allows you to get to something you couldn't otherwise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a cute little mechanic. I've seen it done before. I can't remember the game name, but it's not new. Nothing about this game is totally new. Like if it's really like that Legend of Zelda game where he's going from 2D to 3D environments as well.
Which one?
I was looking at who created this game. It's published
Remember on the
by
3DS? It was like Zelda. It's the whole gimmick was he flattens down and then he like pops back out into 3D.
Why don't I know what you're talking about?
No,
but you live
Zelda.
this, John. You live.
Is it Minish Camp? Minish Camp? Oh.
2D to 3D. Come on, chat, please help us.
ChatGPT, just ask. They know everything.
I can't even.
What game?
It'll come up. But anyways, it wasn't a very well remembered game, but that was the gimmick. You had a special power, and you'd go on paper and you manipulate, you go through environments, and you pop back out in 3D to do. No, it's not Minish Cap. I'll get into it. Anyway, keep talking. I'm going to do some Googling here.
All right, so Matt.
The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds for the Nintendo 3DS.
Oh, that game.
Yeah, ChatGPT, motherfucker.
I hated that game, by the way.
All I said is Zelda game pop-up flat.
I did not like that game. I'm going on record right now saying
that's the right one. But let's move on. So yeah, that's the thing. That's the gimmick. So eventually when you do, something happens in the book where one of the characters is like, holy shit, we're in a book. Well, I'm going to change the ending. I'm going to do my meta magic. This game is all meta. This game knows it's talking to the game world. Did you find that, John, where it's just kind of like all the humor and all of it's like talking to the player a little bit?
Yeah, breaking the fourth wall. Or third wall, or fourth wall.
It breaks the fifth wall. And then,
fifth wall?
Yeah, so that first time he pops out is a cool moment, right?
It's a very cool moment. Again, bringing me back to Sackboy with the real environment. Like, and it is kind of photorealistic. So, and what Matt's saying is like, we don't want to spoil really the story, right? About why he gets ejected from the book.
Yeah, it's cute. It's a cute story.
Are people really caring about the Plucky Squire story spoilers of this cartoon game?
You
I don't
need
want
to care about the story.
Oh no! Why was he ripped from the book? Because his fantastical fictitious dog was pooped in the neighbor's. Like what?
No. Why is Batman upset? Because his parents were killed in an alley.
Yeah, but you can't compare Batman to the Plucky Squire, Matt.
I think we can.
No,
this is modern day.
There's not too many spoilers anyway.
Nobody's going to care about the story in Plucky Squire. If you're a listener and you're mad that these guys spoiled Plucky Squire story, you better reach your hand down your pants right now and jiggle your balls because they're not there, guys.
It takes like almost an hour
about a Plucky Squire story spoiler, and you're a grown man, we have to talk.
I'm not ruining it.
I've got a workshop for you.
It's a good story.
It's called Find Your Balls.
My lips are sealed.
So there's kind of like a Toy Story kind of story going here with the kid.
I'm not even going to say yes or no to that.
Be careful. You already picked Kiwi Power says, that's it. I'm never coming back. I was looking forward to the story of Plucky the Squire. You have ruined it.
Yeah.
But okay, so when he's jumping around, he's on this like art desk, and when he's out in the real world, he might be tasked with finding an object that he can bring back into the storybook. And the real world, it looks so, it sounds again, but it looks so real. And then you're finding little doodles that you can become 2D in, and you're using those to like go over. It's a really good effect. I think they do it really well.
It is a good effect. I have to admit, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I like being in the 2D world better than the 3D world in this game.
Yeah, I know it's not 3D looks cooler.
Yes,
2D is a better game. Like it's just
okay. So you agree with me because I'm not wrong, right? Like.
Yeah, it's just kind of they stretch on a little bit, and you're like, I'm not actually enjoying the gameplay. Like, I like looking around. Like, they're doing a good job at making a dollhouse, but it's
you said doll. You're spoiling the setup now.
Shoot! I mean, generic toy house that you have to open up to get a key. I think it does a lot of cool little interesting ideas. There's one segment where you've got to get a bow. And you realize there's like a Magic the Gathering card with an elf and a bow high up on this like cardboard castle. And so the 3D level is navigating this castle, going into its like little drawings to get through it. That's a creative concept. And then you have an RPG battle with the elf once you meet her. So I like that. I like games now that just like Astrobot that just like zig and zag a lot with the gameplay.
Yeah, there's like there's a scene where you're in the 2D world with a rabbit who's blocking an entrance.
Yeah.
And there's carrots in the 3D world.
Carrots
so you go out there.
Spoiling again.
You get a carrot, and then you jump back in the book with the carrot, and you give it to him.
With a vegetable. Rabbit with vegetable.
But a lupine.
Listen, I do think this game is special. I do. I really do. I think they're doing something.
Devolver is good at curating, and this was made by their first game.
But this is like
this company.
Like most Devolver games have a lot of retro bit stink on them. This does not at all.
Yeah, this feels pretty tight.
Like this feels like a real modern big game. And if Media Molecule, who made Little Big Planet, made this, you wouldn't question it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'd say, oh, yeah, this is a first-party Sony game. That's how it feels. It does not feel indie in any way, shape, or form to me.
No, it's super
and even
polished.
the 2D sections, that art style is fucking... I love it so much. And the way it feels, the way it looks, the
way it animates on the page.
The way it
look
animates...
like you're playing a game, a book. Like, it looked like a storybook. It's really well done.
Yeah.
I will say, John,
yes.
I don't know if you found this, a little hand-holdy, and it doesn't stop being a hand... For me, anyways. Just
okay, I'm going to agree with you there. It's an easy game.
It's a game made for children. You guys are just realizing
I don't disagree. I don't...
Yeah.
I knew this playing it.
There's some tough puzzles. There's a one or two tough puzzles. Like, there's no way a kid would have gotten that. Or maybe I'm just dumb. But it is an easy game, and you're always being tutorialized. There's always a character in your ear explaining exactly the objective.
Yeah. And there's a little, like, that little wizard guy that will give you clues if you want to use him.
Yeah. Oh, Mini Beard, yeah.
Clippy the
Mini
wizard.
Beard.
He is. He's Clippy. There's no joke. There's, I think, like 4 characters designed just to, like, provide tutorial support.
Oh, boy.
Like, there's 2 wizards, there's a note. It's just, they don't want you to feel frustrated ever in this game, and maybe that's why it feels like a breeze. It just feels like a nice light breeze of a game.
Right. And here I am playing Witchfire, ripping people's guts out.
I'm so calm right now, Michelle.
You guys are chilling out. You got these happy games. No, I mean, it's okay if it's for a kid and still fun. I mean, that was the magic of like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It was made for kids, but there were jokes in there for adults. It sounds like there's something for everybody.
Yeah, there was racist jokes in there for adults.
Product of the times.
What?
Or sexist, whatever.
Well, during World War II.
Yeah.
So I like it. I dig it. I think it's definitely worth the PS Plus sub I did.
Totally.
But here's the thing. Do I continue this deluxe sub? Like what?
Be good for the show. Other than that,
but I've never. But Michelle, I've never. This is the first time.
But no,
ever.
because now you've committed. You have to. Okay, sunken cost fallacy is going to be in full effect because you could have just purchased this game for Steam or Switch, and I think it's like $20 on a key site, and then you would have owned it. Now you've given them that. You have to keep going.
I understand.
You don't own the game.
But there's just times where I want to be in the living room, and this
so
is
buy
one
a
of them.
PlayStation key. You know they have those too. They've started to pop recently.
Sure.
Or just buy
but
the game.
I kind of want to see.
It's $30. The game itself is $30, right? And
I paid $21.
Okay, but then next month you pay again. You've paid $40, and you don't own the game.
I paid $21 to get like a few months of that.
But you
super
don't
deluxe.
own it.
Oh, I see
ever.
what you're saying.
I'd rather own it for that. But it's up to you. Whatever. I don't think you're going to touch PlayStation Plus.
You literally
again.
played Frostpunk on Game Pass tonight, so thank you.
What does that
all right,
matter?
so because
What does that have to do
you're
with
saying
anything?
that I played it on PlayStation Plus and that.
But I don't want to own Frostpunk. You are a dummy because you paid for it. We got free from Xbox. So what are you talking about? And like, I'm saying if you like the game and you want to play it, I think you could have just bought this. You probably would have been just as happy.
Yeah.
Wait, this wasn't free on Xbox, was it?
No. Frostpunk is.
I thought you just said free on Xbox. Like, oh, this is a Sony exclusive.
No, it's on PC.
Oh, okay.
And Switch, right?
Sony PC exclusive.
Yeah.
Is it on Xbox? Maybe it's on
loses.
Xbox. I don't know.
Losers. Just kidding. I did play a lot of Xbox. Too.
It is on Xbox. It's on
All right.
PS5.
Well, forget what
it's
Matt
on
just
Switch.
said.
It's on
Wait,
Switch.
it's not on
everywhere.
Game Pass though, right?
No, not on Game Pass. PS Plus Plus. Whatever plus extra plus is.
I got a recommendation of a show. I think Michelle definitely. I think you two, Slow Horses. It's on Apple TV.
What's his face? I've been meaning to watch that because I like
Gary
the guy in
Oldman.
it. Yeah, Ullman. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I did look at that over the weekend. I did not
So
press
good.
play, but
I gotta
I
watch
almost
that.
did.
It's 6 episode seasons, super tight mystery humor. Gary Oldman, he's the GOAT. So
Yep.
I think just from what I know you guys watch, I think you'd really appreciate it. That's
I
it.
think I would like it.
Oh, Cranky agrees. Thank you. Slow Horses is awesome. We don't
Gary
agree on
Oldman was
anything,
in that.
me and Old
What was
Cranky.
that, like Catholic Communion movie or something? Or
He's in everything. He was in Fifth Element, the Batman movies,
Yep.
Harry Potter. The guy's a legend. I love Gary Oldman.
He's good. I should watch that. And I like detective stuff.
Oh, you'll love this. You'll love it.
All right. What are you drinking?
That's
today?
it.
Gary
I'm not
Oldman
drinking
was
water,
in
by the way.
Leon the Professional. He was the cop. Was that what he
Oh,
was?
yeah.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
old.
He was the corrupt cop. Oh, sorry. Spoilers. He was the cop.
Careful. Okay, that's fine, but don't
What was
spoil
that?
Plucky
What is
Squire.
this? What am I thinking of with that Communion or something movie or Communion or?
What are you talking about communion? You know what that is?
With the Irish?
I know
Brothers?
what Communion is. Yeah,
Okay,
I've done
why do
it
you keep saying
a couple
communion?
times. Because there was a
Couple
movie
times.
like that, like Communion or something.
It was like a one-time thing.
That's the Alien movie with Christopher Walken, I think. I'm getting abducted by the alien.
What was that movie?
What are you talking about?
I remember.
Did you go to
movie-
IMDb and type his name?
John-
You guys are like having a stroke mid.
John, shut it down.
I remember a movie.
I don't.
with
If
Gary
you sounded like that, I
Oldman.
could not do a show with you.
It was
I
like,
can't handle it. There's a lot of
it was-
YouTubers that just sound like they have a speech impediment. I don't know what these
that's
people
right.
are doing.
He was in Dark Knight. He was he the mayor in Dark Knight? He was Gordon. He was Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon.
It's really good from
I
Blizzard.
said that. He was Commissioner Gordon. He was the best.
Yeah.
Click. Okay, I'm gonna find the name of this fucking movie.
But you do that on your own time.
It came
okay?
out in
Tell
the
me more.
in the 80s or
Yeah.
the
Saints.
90s,
All right.
Boondock Saints.
and it had some riff on Communion.
I was thinking
or
of
something.
Boondock Saints, but no.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to find on IMDb. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah, just go under
Yeah,
titles.
Kiwi. I
and-
think there's a couple of them. I can't do it.
Can't do what?
The D4 YouTuber, the long ginger hair. I can't do it. All right,
All right,
guys.
there was a
so
movie
here
called
I am. I live in
Communion.
Alaska.
All
And
right,
I'm
so-
going to move.
So
Sorry. People who get it,
Christopher
get it.
Walken was in
Yeah.
Communion.
Yeah, communion with the aliens.
You're getting walking
Now
confused.
listen here, 89.
John, please. I can't do it.
What year was the movie Communion made?
Let's talk about the Sony State of Play, which starred Pat.
I
and,
think I know what fucking a Communion is.
I think I've.
Zambuzama.
God, yeah. He doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know anything.
Let's talk about Sony's,
I don't know what a communion is.
It's
State
not
of
a
Play.
communion. It's called receiving it, isn't it?
I think I had my first communion.
Powerball.
Yeah. I was put through that as well. Okay.
And
It's fine.
and the thing is, I got a bunch of gold coins that I sold in the last 10 years,
Good.
What are we talking about?
Don't worry about it.
and I got a 1980 set of Topps baseball cards at my communion,
Okay.
which had the Ricky Henderson rookie card in there. I sold that at
Yeah.
some point.
That's good. Let's go
And
through
a double-
our
a
histories.
double
I
eagle
quit
gold
catechism as
coin.
a child. I knew something was up. All right, so let's talk about the Sony State of Play. What was the big news for you, Matt, as the Sony hardcore fanboy?
No,
Oh,
okay.
God, there's no news. What are
Well,
you talking about?
Rise of the Ronin, or no, what's it called again? Fucking
Ghost of Tsushima, the
Tsushima.
sequel, Ghost of Yoti or Yotai?
Yeah,
What do you
it
say?
looked good. I know I bailed on the first one, so maybe this is my chance to maybe finally play it, give it an
Play
honest,
it.
good chance,
Yeah.
and catch up. Because that trailer looked really good.
Yep.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, and that's something
I'm
exciting
not
for
gonna-
PlayStation 5 Pro, right? Because it's going to come out this year or 2025. So that's
Ooh,
like
it's going to look beautiful on that.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
finally
All
something.
right, so
to-
Ghost of Yote, Star Wars Outlaws interactive map, Matt.
Where? When? Now?
Yeah.
Wow, they added a map feature. The church lady came out and talked about PS5
This is-
Pro again.
This is a fucking article within an article, by the way. The interactive
Don't worry about it. I
map.
watched the whole thing. Okay, we saw Keanu Reeves will voice Sonic X Shadow
You just
Generation
threw me a
movie
headline
pack
from another-
coming December 12th. Keanu was so I know Tiger, our producer, was very excited about this Sonic news.
Yeah.
He's been tweeting about it.
What is it? He's voicing a new Sonic type
Yeah, there's going to be a
character?
movie,
Oh.
Sonic X Shadow movie
I know who he's talking
Generation
about. Yeah,
movie
yeah.
pack coming in December 12th.
He's the new Sonic guy.
Power World coming to PlayStation, even though Nintendo's suing them for a patent, not for
Gonna
art or
sue them
anything
into
like
oblivion.
that. But they may lose because they filed the patent after the game came out and it was approved after the game came out. And it's basically to throw the ball in the three wiggles that it does, which sets a really bad precedent for game development. And I hope Nintendo burns, but we'll get into that maybe later. But yeah, PSVR 2 stuff, I still saw a little of that, but
Astrobot DLC announced for fall to 2024.
Horizon Remaster, which is funny.
Can we
Too
just
soon.
reverse? I know I mentioned it in my thing, but the bots that are coming to Astrobot, one of them I think is Stellar Blade. I'm looking at a screenshot.
Matt, that is
funny.
corporate lip service, and I'm
How
not
dare
happy
you.
about it.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
new
gonna-
speedrun
I'm gonna
levels,
lick that
10 new
boot.
bots.
Play more Astrobot.
She is a bot, though. Isn't she like a robot or AI? So that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Work.
she-
Midnight Walk, that looked really good. The
Yeah, that's VR
for
optional.
PS5.
It's on
The
Steam.
TMNT Shredder's Revenge DLC. I know
Yeah.
some of the chatters are
Yeah.
talking about that. It's
Yeah,
out
yeah,
now
it's
and
nice.
it's free.
That's always nice.
Legacy of Kain. I saw a lot about this. Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remasters coming in
I like those
December.
games.
Yeah, that's a game I totally missed.
It's so ancient though, that game. Like that
I know.
the gameplay wasn't great. I imagine when that comes out, people are gonna be like, "Yeah, this wasn't that fun." Like, it's not that advanced.
New DLC is $3.99, but there's also a free update for Teenage Mutant. I think it's not only
Metro Awakening. Another. They really want to. They're still selling this VR concept. Eh? Like, that's interesting.
I don't know about it.
Well, the best thing probably is these new PS5 controller colors.
The chroma
It's not the
colors.
best thing to come out of this.
Matt,
Monster Hunter Wilds
they
trailer.
have blue.
Dragon Age: The Veilguard looks. I've been reading previews. People, I think this is going to be a great game. Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
We're going to have an interesting roundtable when we cover this game. I'm concerned, and I'm going to, like I said, even when I review this, I'd love to say, look, it doesn't look like a Dragon Age game. It doesn't play like one, but it's still separate from that. It's still a fun game. That's my hope for it. But I have some concerns about the combat I've been seeing and the animations and shit. So we'll get into that.
People are saying
people that got to play early, they were paid. The only people talking about the game right now were paid to talk about it. They got flown out to the studio. They were paid. So everything you're hearing right now is sponsored and an ad. So you don't know yet, right? That's the problem.
I trust them. I
don't trust
that they would
them.
not lie to me about their
them.
impressions.
I don't trust them.
I'm a trusting person. I'm going to stay that way. Alan Wake 2 DLC.
Yes, that's what
the one you're talking about.
You're going to play Lake House.
This should be good because this is going to go back into like the lore of Alan Wake. So I think that because of like the facility that the weird
I like
stuff
the
is
Lake House
happening
movie with Keanu Reeves. So I almost kind of want to play this.
It's going to be nothing like this.
But it could be. There's a mailbox and letters go back and forth. I believe
that's true. Time travel for sure.
Yeah, it's got that could have been an Alan Wake movie. It's actually kind of creepy. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't groundbreaking stuff for me out of this.
Yeah, Sony's dead, basically.
Oh, come on.
Can we talk?
No, this is all bullshit.
Really
There's nothing here. There's not a single fucking thing.
Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. Finally, that game looked like garbage. It's going to come right back out.
I thought it was too soon to remaster. Yeah,
and Horizon,
this is ridiculous.
Fucking Legos. Kids don't even know what fucking Horizon is.
Yeah, I feel like the Lego version is weird. That we knew they were doing that though.
That doesn't make any sense.
The Lego version, it's a weird franchise because it's not.
It's a bunch of Sony bootlicking. Goddammit!
They thought Concord was going to be their Star Wars and be around for generations, so they may not understand like what people want or what kids want. Like they think they're trying to really push the Horizon world.
So Nintendo filed a patent for a mysterious device.
Oh.
And I'd like to discuss this.
All right.
And the model number is indicative of a new series of devices.
Okay.
Because if you look at the history of a Nintendo's model number naming, everything is 3 letters -001. That's always the first version of the device. For instance, the Switch was HAC 001. The first DS was NTR 001. This new device is CLO 001. What is it? Okay. This device appears to be the size of an Apple TV. It has a single USB-C jack, and it has some wireless capabilities. It has
dongle.
No, it has some wireless, but not a lot of wireless. It has a 25
Is that in the patent? Is that how they describe it? Some wireless, but not a lot of wireless.
It has why don't you let me talk, please?
I'm trying. You've been talking. You've been saying nothing for 20 minutes. You're describing a dongle. It has some wireless.
It has a 24 gigahertz millimeter wave sensor. Okay. So what is that, Michelle?
What does that do? And tell us, John, because
people are saying it could be a radar sensor to track movement, like closely following gestures or detecting when someone is nearby the device, causing it to turn on automatically. What's that?
Didn't we already go through this generation of move stuff?
I don't know. It has a fucking radar in it.
It's probably a sensor to detect if the screen is in the thing or not.
I'm not going to let Nintendo install a radar in my living room.
Yeah, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's radar in your living room, but Nintendo, like, what are these people talking about?
It's Nindar. It's Nindar.
No, that sounds like an Indian name. I am Nindar.
Obviously.
I will be your pediatrician today.
So this 24 gigahertz radar can provide a detection range up to 100 meters, which is about 300 feet.
I don't want this shit in my house. Get the fuck out of here, Nintendo.
purpose?
You're going to try to sue me because I talked about something?
Penetration possible through obstacles.
Okay, I don't want you penetrating my
scary.
doorway.
I don't want this.
Yeah. I think that
You
Nintendo's
don't
planning
want
to
this
kill
device?
us. No.
What?
No. I let you talk. I gave you the time.
amazing.
Now I'm frightened, John. I'm
They're gonna
regretting this.
install like radars
Yeah.
through Mario. There's gonna be a new Mario
Yeah,
radar.
they're going to
game.
give me
Okay,
cancer.
all right. Let's try to unpack this. Okay,
I'm going to need Nindar after this
I
shit
don't want to
comes to my
unpack this.
house.
Keep it in
What?
the pack.
I'm going to need an
It's too
oncologist.
radioactive.
Now, hang on though. It does have a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi radio. Also, in addition to this radar.
I agree. Kiwi says Mario causes cancer. I agree. This is proof.
Okay,
Nintendo
so
is
what
cancer.
So what if this is some kind of an extender or? When I first read this, when they said it was like an Apple
Booster?
TV device, I thought to myself, okay, do a Switch with no screen. Makes complete sense to me. Right?
Not to me.
No.
What?
A Switch with no screen that plugs
You mean
into
a
TV.
dongle? like
No.
we
Yeah,
said
well-
at the start?
No, well, why would it be a dongle though?
Switch with no
You
screen.
couldn't get all that in a dongle.
Why not?
But
What if
it-
it's a large
It
dongle?
sounds like you can.
What if it's an XL dongle?
But I do believe
Or a box.
I'm pretty confident that if you remove the screen and Joy-Cons from a Switch, you could put it inside of an Apple TV, right?
So it'd be
Oh, I
device.
see. It's such a box. Just a tiny Nintendo box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a Steam box.
So get
or
rid of
whatever
the
they
whole
used to
thing that
call
made them popular, the screen on your portable device. What are you talking about? That's the worst idea I've
it.
ever
I still want the
heard.
portability.
No, that
Yeah,
would be
the
very
whole
popular.
portability.
It wouldn't be popular at all. The reason why the Switch
Sure,
is popular is because
I
it's a
think a lot
handheld
of-
gaming system you can dock to your living room, just like all
people-
these handheld PCs that are coming
But
out.
people
Nobody
that
wants
play
a
docked
Nintendo
all the time.
Nobody wants a Nintendo dongle.
It's not a dongle. It's in the 10 box.
Nobody wants that shit. The Switch is popular because it's a screen. It's a handheld. What are you
Nintendo
crazy?
box.
It needs to be
No, I'm
portable.
not
That's what
crazy.
Nintendo does.
Nintendo
You're crazy.
box.
And they're not putting
Nintendo
radar in my
box.
house. I hope Nintendo burns.
Well, the radar is essential because
Yeah,
if you need to
sure
detect
is.
an approaching
Nintendo box.
submarine,
Yeah, Nintendo.
maybe you
Yeah.
live on the coast,
maybe
right?
I do.
right? And it's
Yeah.
like, hey,
I
the
do,
Japs are
actually.
out there, right? And
Can't say that. What is that shit?
Jesus.
You can't
sorry.
say that.
Well, okay.
The hell is wrong with you? I was on edge with my Nindar joke, and now you're saying this shit.
Well,
Look, I-
Nintendo's going to pick that up in their radars, and we
Yeah,
are
that's
done
why they
for.
want. Yeah, they want the potty mouth
Yeah.
radar.
What?
Yeah, that's what
Racist
they're watching.
Americans.
They're suing everybody.
Oh, here come the
They're
chat.
sue happy.
They're there.
All right, very litigious.
Listen, I've watched the movie 1941 too many times. I'm sorry. I'm
You
from
need to
another.
stop watching Humphrey Bogart movies.
No, that's a John Belushi movie. But okay.
Whatever. I'm telling you to. It's a
that's
separate
Steven
thought,
Spielberg,
John.
goddammit.
Not every thought I have is connected to yours. I'm saying you need to stop watching Humphrey Bogart movies.
That's a Steven
Separate thought.
Spielberg movie. Okay.
I didn't say that was. I'm telling you about another separate thought because all you talk about is Humphrey Bogart, and you're telling me I need to watch that stupid shit, and I'm saying stop watching it.
Yes, I think that you should watch the top 1 or 2 movies of all time. Yes,
that's
I
great.
think you
no,
should.
they aren't the top movies of all time.
But then you tell me how Rotten Tomatoes and all that and IMDb is so important, but you won't watch
how
the
do I
top
say it's
movies.
important? I don't
You
want to
won't
watch a
the
Humphrey
top
Bogart
movies.
movie. I'm
Like
sorry.
literally the top movie,
I'd rather
you
watch
won't
new
watch
things
it.
that come out. You don't know anything. You have no cultural pulse of anything that's new that's come out. You haven't watched any new movie, any new series.
I have
You
to.
play a game for 10 minutes, then you turn it off. Keep watching Humphrey Bogart and saying Japs and see how that goes for you. All right, let's continue on. I apologize to our
Dress
Japanese
as him as
listeners.
for Halloween.
I don't know this
Dress as him
guy.
for Halloween.
I've never done a show with him before. This is not representative of Vichio's views.
Okay. Let's go back to the stellar state of play. I think that's what we need to really.
But I want to go
But
back to
what's
this
so
radar
stellar
thing.
about this?
Okay.
No, he's obsessed with radar. You're obsessed with. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
none
mean,
of this
listen,
shit sounds interesting, honestly.
What about that claymation game? That looks like it's going to be indie stink all over it.
Yeah, I saw that was also.
That looks like a
Steam,
Tim Burton-esque kind of inside
the Midnight game?
vibe-ish. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it was.
Yeah, I put a picture. I had
I can't remember.
the Midnight Walk. That's the VR or non-VR game. It's kind of a
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what? There's not a lot here that I'm really
No.
actually I'm not excited about any of these things.
But I'm coming
Astrobot,
clean
maybe.
right now.
Yeah, I mean, some of these might turn out to be really good indie games, but
I feel like the Ghost of Tsushima sequel is the biggest news. I think seeing that wasn't like expected to come out in 2025, like it kind of came out of nowhere, and it's like already coming. So
yeah,
that's kind of a big deal. I think
delayed,
that's going to be
yeah.
Maybe. Well, the rumor.
I think it's great. We finally have a white samurai. I'm just going to say it. I think it's been a long time that we haven't had a white samurai.
They're Japanese. Did you watch the same trailer? Well, speaking of the wrongly colored samurai, so Ubisoft has basically committed seppuku. They've dropped out last minute of the Tokyo Game Show, and the rumor is it's because Assassin's Creed Shadows may be delayed. So they've been going off on this thing saying the only people upset about this are Americans, but apparently there are a lot of Japanese people upset about the game, and they, the country was looking into suing them and all this shit, and they had to apologize for a bunch of stuff. Or they already had to apologize to the whole country of Japan. Now they have dropped out last minute Tokyo Game Show, where they were supposed to present the game about Japan, Assassin's Creed Shadows. So
do you think is that the rumor though? They're going to delay?
Well, people are trying to figure out why would they do this. So obviously we know why, because they've had a lot of bad press even in Japan over this game. So, but it still seems weird to pull out. You never pull out completely. That sounds gross.
No, that's definitely
last minute. Like, why did you do that?
Weakness.
Yeah, that's a sign of weakness. You're not virile. Go eat some tiger penis, Ubisoft. You have to come back here. Like, explain why you dropped out.
Yeah.
Why did you drop out last minute? John, predictions? What do you think? What would Humphrey Bogart say?
Really soon, though.
I don't know. He's dead.
Well, that's the whole idea. What would he say?
He wouldn't understand this.
If we knew what he'd say, I'd ask him.
Nah, listen
He's
here,
dead. He'd go, come on, doll. He'd beat me at the end of the movie and drag me by my hair.
No, he wouldn't.
You shut down, woman.
He was
used to beat the shit out of women.
Are you crazy?
No, they slapped the shit out of women at movies and shit.
You don't even know anything about Casablanca.
Oh, really?
It was
Why
a story
don't you Google Humphrey Bogart slaps woman on screen? I guarantee it happened. Sometimes you got to give him a little, you know what I mean?
Directed. You got to do what the director asks you to do.
That's right. I don't blame Humphrey. That's all I'm saying. She got a little lippy.
Ubisoft is dead. We've been calling it for
we've been calling
ever.
it. So people are in denial about this shit.
Like honestly,
they're
Ubisoft.
Since they fucked up Tom Clancy, they were over.
Yeah, they're done. It. Now they pulled out of the Tokyo Game Show. Assassin's Creed Shadows may not even come out. They're like editing it right now. They're trying to like make it.
They destroyed.
Yeah.
They literally destroyed Assassin's Creed. They really did.
I don't know.
They kept making the same game over and over again.
Valhalla was great. Blah blah blah.
Have they come out and said anything about why they dropped? I don't know.
They should give some clarification. That's a pretty big,
you got to say why.
Afraid.
You got to say
they are afraid of people reviewing this fucking game.
Ubisoft pulls out of Tokyo Game Show due to Assassin's Creed Shadows. They have not confirmed
and then
why.
They also said that no reviewers are getting fucking early views of the game.
It's gonna be a shit show no matter what. There's such a stinker on this game. There's gonna be shit shows. They should just release it, just get through it. The people just like me are gonna buy it.
Yeah, you're gonna buy it, you're gonna love it, or you're gonna do the sub service. It's hard though, coming off Wukong with that tight gameplay. I don't know, some of the animations I'm seeing on that. We'll see how that goes. If we roundtable that game, we might, John, I'm sure you and I might do the sub service to talk about it if it doesn't get delayed, but that's the rumor right now. All right, other news before we get out of here and offend any more people tonight. What's going on? Oh, retro gaming just got saucy. I don't know if you guys have ever wanted to put Atari hot sauce on your food. Now John, you were early on this. You predicted this. Okay.
I did?
Super breakout. I mean, we sold the VGO hot sauce.
Yeah, we did.
Hot juice that we just gave away.
We didn't sell it. We gave it away.
Well, we gave it away. Yeah. So now there's Atari hot sauce. Haunted House. Super breakout.
I don't think kids know any of these games.
This is weird.
Kids don't know any of these games. I can tell you right now that no kids know Haunted House.
It's not for kids. No kids are buying hot sauces. So they're like, okay, what are 39-year-old dudes buying right now? Oh, they're like
buying
hot sauce.
Haunted House 2600 hot sauces? Really?
Yeah, they're like,
Arcade
my dad
cabinets.
had Atari. I love this shit.
I mean, obviously I did, and I grew up with it, and it's been well documented.
Right.
But I don't need these hot sauces.
It's weird and random.
I got enough
Atari.
garbage in this basement and enough shit on my shelf. The thing is, like 15, 10, 20 years ago, this kind of stuff was random and rare, where you would see something like this. Now there's just too much of it. And you can't buy it all. And if you start buying it all, like I did for a while, you start getting depressed and just like, it's just too much stuff.
It piles up, man.
Right?
Yeah,
it doesn't mean much if everyone's doing it.
It doesn't mean anything. But I'm telling you, 15 years ago, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
I go to Toys R Us.
Like you said, it was few and far between. Like,
Yes.
oh shit, they did this. This is
Oh,
really
they did a
unique.
fucking monkey ball figurine in the ball. I had to get
You
it.
say this
Now,
as you're trying to promote your big sausage energy spice, John. Come on.
that has nothing to do with this.
It does.
It's
People like
a
putting things on things.
Funko-popification. It's just there's so many of it.
Yeah,
There's
but this is
it's endless.
My product is a real food product. This is just like a brand slap of a Atari haunted house.
Yours is- All right. Well, let's talk about this. The reveal of PlayStation's 30th anniversary hardware is sending price gougers into a tizzy. Some already going for as much as $10,000 in an attempt
That's
to secure
stupid.
the limited
And if you do
PS5
that-
Pro bundle. So you're saying this is costing too much? Why are they charging this? $10,000. It's already happening. These limited
I'm
editions.
not, I
Else would take
am
that,
not participating in this in any way, shape, or form. I
No?
went through the whole PS5 thing. I had fucking stock tracker apps on my thing where they're tracking Yeezys and PS5s.
Yep.
I'm over it. I'm
I
done
went
with it.
through
I'm
with
not
my
doing
3080.
it.
I fell asleep with an earbud in.
Well,
An alarm
you
went
and
off. I got him.
Listen,
but
you and I streamed like crazy.
Yeah,
getting
that was
380s.
fun.
And that was really fun, honestly. I loved
Yeah.
I
that.
remember that period.
That was a good
But-
time, but I'm over
Hey,
it, right?
I'm willing to do it again for a 4090, maybe, but
I
I'm
mean,
not
a 50
doing it for
series, not a
or
4090.
5090, sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing it for this. There's just no fucking way. I'm not playing the 0.5 game anymore.
What if it happens during Thanksgiving and you send your mom to wait in like Best Buy like you always do? It's gonna hit you.
Oh, John, we're over
John,
here at
I can't
Walmart.
believe this.
Where
you
are
really
you?
want this
Oh, you're at
PlayStation?
Myers. Well, what's the line of Myers
Well,
like?
let's talk about this quickly, John. Did you read this article? I asked you to. Xbox's president on handheld consoles and subscription gaming. So they talked to Sarah Bond. And she kind of talked about how she clashed with Phil Spencer at first because they have different styles. This was a Bloomberg article that kind of said that, Sarah's had to deal with so much because so much that Phil hasn't had to deal with, and abuse because of her, being a woman and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I see Phil getting shit on a lot. I feel like he's like the most hated man in gaming
I
for
would
some
agree
reason.
with you.
But yeah, so she basically, she said that she was hired to do what Phil means, not what he says. I'm being
What?
paid to do what he
To
meant.
read his
I'm
mind,
not being
baby.
paid to
To
do
be
what
intuitive.
he says. Because
What
they
does that
clashed a little
mean?
bit. So, okay.
She's got to anticipate his moves.
Yeah.
That's what she's saying.
That's right. She's using her female intuition. Now, at first, Bond and Spencer's personal styles clashed, and the two sought out Microsoft Human Resources Chief Kathleen Hogan. Okay, so basically, Sarah called HR on Phil, is what I'm hearing. It's always the woman. No dude goes to HR about a woman. Okay, that just doesn't happen.
Right.
Bond recalls Spencer and others at Microsoft telling her that her tendency to push the envelope and not let something go was new to them. So she's pushy and they were annoyed. That's a nice way to say that. She said she found out that Spencer's communication style sometimes left her unsure of what he actually wanted from her. At one point, she stuck a post-it note to her computer with advice about interacting with him. I'm not being paid to do what he says. It read, I'm being paid to do what he meant. That's weird. That's like a husband-wife dynamic, That's not like something
Right.
you want to
That's
deal with at
very
work.
cryptic.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To kind of shift gears, but not shift gears. Now, Phil's doing an event soon, right? Like in Japan.
The Tokyo Game Show, right? That Sony dropped out of? Is that what it is?
Yeah. And I really
Or sorry,
think,
that Ubisoft dropped out of.
yeah. So I think that event is really important because he knows he needs to get in front of the PS5 Pro, right?
And the rumor is they're doing their own new device that's a handheld Xbox device,
Well,
which I think is great if it has Windows on it.
Well, I think, I don't think that's important, but I
ESP
think
says Xbox is dead. It is important.
Xbox-
It's the only thing that would make you want to buy an Xbox over a PlayStation outside of Game Pass.
okay. So, but if they do a handheld, I don't think that's the only system. I think
They are going to use AI. That's how they're going to get by it. They said Microsoft has obviously been doubling down with AI.
I know, but what I'm saying, Michelle, is if there is a handheld, which I think there might be, that is a secondary system, not the system.
Yeah.
I still
Well,
think that they make a living room horsepower machine.
But horsepower is
And-
not the same as what it used to be. We even have Jensen with
I
NVIDIA
understand,
saying that
but
AI
they
is the
haven't
future.
fully embraced the cloud in the living room with their Series X.
But I don't.
You know,
I think you're she's saying we're going to make the world's most powerful console. I think it's going to be some kind of AI tech or the cloud.
well,
I mean,
yeah, the
before-
world's most powerful console
Yeah.
that is in a warehouse in Nevada,
Exactly.
and you're going to
in
tap
the
into
IGN
it.
pre-show before the Sony State of Play. The guy from
The internet's not there yet,
digital.
though. It's just not.
What's that?
It's
One of
just
that
not.
the site where they test
Oh, we
things.
tried with
Digital,
Stadia,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, but the guy was
But it's
going on
going to
about
be there.
how
It's
important
gonna happen.
for PS5 the PSSR is because FSR2 is such shit that basically DLSS is used by 80% of gamers right now are using it, even when a game performs well without it, because you get like double your frames for like, 1% loss of quality, and everybody's using it. So that is the whole new world we're entering into. We're not pushing the envelope with power and size like we were in heat. Okay, we're going to the technology side. So if Microsoft, being Microsoft, can capitalize on that, John, like you're saying, NVIDIA juice in the new Switch, I feel like their handheld gaming device, if it's dockable and it gets more powerful, that may not be out of the question for them. Do they need to compete with the Pro's power? Because an Xbox could come out right now that's more powerful than the Pro, and nobody's going to buy it still.
Right.
They need something else.
I do think, though, that the current dockable model, like with the Switch,
needs a
potential
refresh.
Switch. Well, the Switch too. Okay, so the new dock supposedly is like, well, it gets more power, obviously, because there's no battery once you dock it, right? So you can juice up the CPU, GPU, because we have constant power. There's no battery consideration, and there's
what
a
if it
fan
swaps from onboard GPU,
but there's a fan
to
that
an
keeps it cool.
GPU.
But that's all. That's the only boost you get from it, though.
But that may be
the
all
dock
you
doesn't
need.
have a GPU, so you're only getting like 20% boost by docking it. So I don't
But
see.
if you have a really good upscaling technology, you're running at
I
a
don't
really,
see
really low
Microsoft
resolution.
relying on a handheld. Is my point.
Beyond the
even
device,
if you dock it
so
with
Sarah
a boost.
said, for the last 2 or 3 Xbox generations, we've been selling consoles to the same 200 million global households. I'm happy to do that, but we're not growing. So how do they grow? They're not happy. Are you happy?
Are there any markets they haven't penetrated?
I like
yet?
my Series X, so whatever.
That's kind of weird, though, because you have a PlayStation and you buy games that are not exclusive for the PlayStation, like Hogwarts, like what was that last one?
But okay, that's just informed decision making, though, and gut.
Yeah. But would you really tell someone if they could only own one console to get the Xbox?
We've already had this conversation.
And you wouldn't. So you have to understand that people that have a limited budget need a reason to buy an Xbox, John, and they want to give them that. And
Well,
maybe
I
that
think
handheld dockable thing.
Game Pass is the reason, really. That's
I think
it.
people really like handheld devices, though. I think overall, not that I do. I think that would be like, look at the Portal even did better than I think you thought, John, right? Because there was people kind of maybe wanting that. Yeah, maybe they're trying to make a Steam Deck. All right, well, any other news you guys saw? John's getting ornery. Sometimes things late break. I guess we won't talk about how Concord really cost $400 million and it was supposed to be the future of PlayStation. That's been funny. It was supposed to be Star Wars-like potential. Colin Moriarty
that Concord fallout is kind of funny.
Yeah, that's been interesting.
So if that's true, because we were saying 100 million, 150, 200, we don't know. Those are the numbers, and now it's coming out.
There was a culture of toxic positivity where the developers were scared to say things.
Let's address that.
That is what happened, apparently.
Okay, so toxic positivity. No, actually,
you know what that is, Matt. You know
I understand it. I really understand
Everybody
it.
does.
I really do.
It's people who can't take honest criticism and they have a breakdown, so therefore you can't make a good product. And that's what developers
so everyone is
saying.
afraid to say anything. Okay.
Yes.
So Betsy comes in.
Pushback is what you're thinking.
Yeah, Betsy comes in the meeting with this obese character with pink hair. Okay.
Yeah.
And no one can say a fucking word because if you do, you're fat phobic or whatever it is, right? That's what's happening. Okay. So before we were trying to make badass characters, cool people that we wanted to be that weren't ourselves.
That because otherwise you get an Astrobot article about how it's Sony shame. And
but if you look at
we had Space Marines too. Like these games are still getting made. It's just there's more games with more options.
Right, but they're not doing well.
Those masculine games are still getting made every year.
I know, but
the Concord, the market sets the success or not. Right, it doesn't matter what I think of it. The market spoke with Concord, and they didn't want it. And the developers there were feeling like they couldn't speak up against the game, and that's why it failed. So it's not the artist's fault. If the artist is told you have to draw this like this, and this is the vision, and they can't say this isn't like
I don't think it's the thing is. I think some of the artists though were kind of advocates. So they would
I mean, there was multiple people who worked at this company who have said ridiculous shit online.
And the thing is, everyone's paralyzed and they can't criticize.
Right.
And that's why this stuff gets pushed through, because if you criticize, then you are some class of person that is. I mean,
this is something we're making up, Matt. This is what developers have said about working and working on the game.
I'm just going to do the woke leftist the woke leftist perspective
Don't
is...
connect those two. You can be left and not woke. I hate when people do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
My perspective is that the reverse has been happening for decades before. They always had companies and designers populated by people who pushed the hyper masculine narrative, and people who wanted something different. Just let me finish. People wanted something different.
You're confused. You're fighting, like you're white knighting a case that we're not fighting. We're just saying why the game failed because of the toxic positive culture there. Nobody could speak up against it and make a good game.
That same culture was reversed. You had a lot of people saying, I want different perspectives, but they'd be beaten down by the majority of the studio that said, no, we're putting out the same hyper dude game again because we don't want to take trench. So it's just a correcting that's happening.
No,
and
because it failed.
We'll
it was 8 years and $400 million. It failed. So all that matters is making a good product that sells,
to
right?
A very small minority.
Right.
And then
this modern audience you're making this game for doesn't exist. And if it's going to, it's not a $400 million 8-year project, right? I think that was the problem.
But a game like Stellar Blade and Wukong, which is universally loved by many.
Stellar Blade got the love. No, anyway, it's getting late. Let's
got the love.
No, I mean this isn't my opinion. This is what the developers are saying. They're saying that studio, the people who worked on it, like this isn't my feeling or my opinion. Developers who worked
So if
on the Conquer game said there was a culture of toxic positivity where they felt stifled.
Yeah, no, this is what was reported, and we're just kind of commenting on it.
Yeah, this is not my opinion. I bet this happened.
I like the main guy of Concord. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, this seems like
it looks like a
Guardians
poor person's Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not creative.
Yeah, but you can say that for a lot of these kind of clones.
And Matt, this may not only be on how the characters looked. It was also for gameplay. Yeah. It's just an example. Like somebody working there might have said, this game is sluggish and boring, but they can't say that.
Not the design. Well, in another world, that design people love it. In another world, for some reason, pop culture said we don't love this.
Yeah, because take a look at the new Valve game that I talked about, Deadlock. It's a very diverse, weird characters, like all sorts of crazy stuff, and nobody has a problem with it.
I think the game sucked. I think that's the basic truth.
No, I played Concord and I knew right away I didn't like it.
When these people are saying, Matt, it was a culture of toxic positivity, it may have nothing to do with how the characters looked. It could have just been that they said this game feels slow and clunky, but they couldn't upset Ricky over there because Ricky would have had a nervous breakdown.
The toxic positivity, though,
it's a cultural thing.
But I understand that, though, because everyone can't criticize. Because
you should be able to criticize, and that's like the number one thing.
But that's how design works.
When you're hiring people, you need to have someone who's brutally honest.
Again, it's like design by committee. It's like you try to make everyone happy, you make no one happy. And that's
they made nobody happy with Concord. Literally nobody. And they refunded the 12 people who bought it. So that's all that mattered in the end. Like money talks, bullshit walks, 400 million 8 years. Like you don't have to prove it to me. If it was popular, I'd be eating my words.
Yeah.
And I didn't work on the game. The people who did said it was toxic positivity.
It's crazy they pulled it that quickly. Like, are they just going to
I know it's bad.
It was a stain. It was a stain.
What are they doing though? They have to be retooling it.
I saw something, and I have nothing to back this up, but I read something online that said Japan was embarrassed by it.
It wouldn't shock me, but
Sony Japan was embarrassed.
Do we answer to them like Sony America? Do they answer to Sony Japan? Would that make sense?
Of course they do. That's the headquarters. That's the core group running all of this, right?
That's crazy. Imagine getting that call.
An
intimidating video call. We are very, very dishonored by your game.
Right. Well, that's what's happening right now. All right. Well, whatever went on, it's just funny now. There will not be a Concord 2. That was all a joke. Hopefully you guys know that. That was not at the Sony State of Play. But we do thank you guys so much for listening and subscribing. We'll be back next week. We're going to talk about the new Zelda game, probably the least hyped Zelda game I remember in a long time, but we're still curious about it. Echoes of Wisdom. Come to videogameoutsiders.com. We've got a Discord. You can enter to win John's new spice, Big Sausage Energy. We're giving away 2.
That's right.
Show notes, episode archives, support us. Come to twitch.tv/John and Michelle. I think that's it.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, subbing, all that stuff. We'll see you very soon. Video Game Outsiders. Out.
I saw you cross the field this morning walking by. I almost called your name. I had to shut my eyes. It's been weeks now since I couldn't breathe, but I still keep your letter close while I'm asleep.
I'll be okay.
I'll be okay.
And so
And so will you. There's nothing left to say. There's nothing new. I still want you back. Your family's borrowed time was always running low. There was no bitter end, just somewhere else to go. The confrontation in the parking lot on Eldridge Street. You barely looked up from your magazine.
I'll be okay.
I'll be okay.
And so
will you. There's nothing left to say. There's nothing new. I still want you back.
I'll be
But I still want you back. You could not see your predispositions, so you went off on your own. You were everything I'm missing. You were all that I call home. I hope someday I'll do more than breathe, and I'll find peace with knowing
we'll never be.
we will